So I recently purchased a tarot deck that I'm very confident is a first edition US Games Yellow Box Rider Tarot. And I'm really excited about it. Like, you don't even understand. I am so excited about this tarot deck. I have been searching out a first edition for what feels like forever. It's probably been like hardcore searching 2 years. Some decks come up occasionally that I've noticed, and they're always, reprints. The little white book has reprint numbers in it. Ones that do come up tend to be known to be first edition and in super good condition, and they're like $300, and I ain't got money for that. Like, seriously, like I might pay $300 for a super rare deck, super old deck, but this is Rider Yellow Box. Like, ain't nobody got to be spending $300 on a Rider Yellow Box. But this deck did come up, and it was certainly not $300. And fates conspired so that I got this deck for only marginally higher than I would pay for a yellow reprint that's old. You know, maybe some like Sunburned Magician, early 80s edition. And I feel very, very blessed about that. Because I'm so excited about this deck, I thought that I would actually film an unboxing. So this is my unboxing. Hello, this is a box. Hello, box. The only thing I've done is opened it because I can't film one-handed and open at the same time. And I did cover up my address, so that's why this looks like that. But let's get into this and see what happens. Oh, very cool. Oh, so much easier. So, oh good, they packaged it in a little thing. Oh, and we've got a book here too. Let's take a look at this book. I've come across these before a lot. I've never actually bothered to really take a look at it though, because it's a pictorial key. Like, we've seen these everywhere. Introduction by Paul Allen. I have to look that one up. 5th printing, 75. Copyright, 71. So if this book is 75, maybe this deck is not first edition. Or they could have got it at separate times, or, you know, various things like that. But let's take a look at this deck. I am right-handed. Maybe it'll help if I use my right hand. Oh, good. Silicone packets. All right, so this is the deck. The box is a little battered, but it is definitely an old edition. You don't have any of the USB stuff. Super basic. Oh, it's sad that the bottom's coming off. And we do have made in Switzerland, is expressly for US game systems, with the fun, crazy little font there. What on earth does that even say? Patty? Oh, it's probably someone's name. Well, that's sweet. Let's take a look. At the cards. Actually, let's hold off on the cards. Yeah, little white book. All right. Definitely an earlier one. We've got the 468 Park Avenue South, New York, 10016. Nothing at all on the back. Let me actually grab one of my Sunburnt Magicians here. All right, so that's one of my Sunburnt Magician decks. As you can see, identical backs. We've got identical tops with the fun little font. And Here we've got my Sunburnt little white book. Also 468, here we'll just do side by side. 468 Park Avenue South, very easy. Nothing on the back. What I like to do first is actually look at what's in the back cover here. Oh, am I going to be able to do this one-handed? Well, clearly we can see that these are different. Let's try this. All right. These back covers, you can see that with this one, there are so many fewer items listed. So clearly by here, US Games has fewer things to sell. We do see the 1JJ deck. We do see, you know, this deck, the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. We do see that it is actually Rider in quotations, scare quotes, and that disappears by the second one. Tarot napkins, that seems so bizarre, but okay. And then we do see a lot more decks being published by this point. Again, still the earlier decks, but still way, way fewer. When we look at our front covers, sorry. You see that what I think is the first edition doesn't have any of these reprint numbers here. Aside from this one, my earliest reprint is reprint 7 for the little white book. But this one doesn't have any reprint information at all. So I'm really confident that this is like a first edition, which I'm excited about. Now, if it is a first edition, I think there's a really good chance that the cards themselves might be a Blushing Fool deck. And that's what we're gonna investigate right now. I hope these are in order. We will see. Ooh, they might be in order. Fool's on top. So here is this one card? Oh, it's just one card. Sometimes they put the other advert card on the back. No. Oh, whatever they are out of order. That's for darn sure. All right, Fool. It is a Blushing Fool. So this is a US Games Blushing Fool. No copyright. Oh, let's get on that Fool again. Oh, it's a blusher. That is so cool. All right, I'm going to pause and put all these cards in order. All right, so what I've done here is I have set up this first edition and my Sunburnt Magician. That is the 7th little white book printing next to each other side by side so that we could get a nice little comparison. I'll probably just go through the majors because those are the most interesting. I mean, we've seen these guys a million times. But I did want to, you know, take a moment to like comment here on like the lamination. This first edition feels a lot. I mean, it's all relative really, but these cards are a good bit stiffer. These cards feel definitely more matte, silky. There's a silkiness to the cover here. There is some lamination. Like I can feel the lamination, especially on the back. The card face is not so much. Let's see if we can't get a shine factor here going. They seem to have about the same level of shine. So it might just be wear. These guys are clearly a little bit more worn than these, but they're still in pretty great condition. You know, with the exception of a couple cards. So here, obviously, like we can see, the Fool is blushing away. And 7th little white book, he's really creamy. The colors, though, are actually a little bit different. As we can see here, let me see if I can get the shine. There's a lot more brown happening, red tones happening in these rocks. And those red tones are largely absent in that one. It looks like the sleeve is a little bit redder too. So I guess this guy's just a redder deck. Going here to our magicians. Yeah, the magician's robe is a lot redder. The roses are a lot redder, and the blushing fool. Looks like I do have a little stain up here. But complexions are looking pretty good. I also have our blushing high priestess. Very, very red, as we can see here. Super mottled. Nicely yellowed, actually, in the newer one. Let's see. Very clean printing in both. The colors actually do seem really identical in both outside of the red balance. Got our Empress. The Empress cards look darn right identical. Again, a little redder. Emperors. Now I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I mean, this is a hair redder with the, I guess the robe, and the oranges are just a slight redder. Slight little bit redder, but really similar. Now, this is what I thought kind of neat. You can see that there's a little bit more modeling here on these guys' heads. Well, maybe it's about the same. Maybe a little more. Like I think the problem with the blushing fool was the red bit. Like this is way redder. That's probably what is interacting with the yellow dye with some of these orange and flesh tones. Or ink. Got our lovers. It's a really clean printing. It's a really, really clean printing of the lovers. It looks like the flesh tones here are a touch more orange than they are here. Yeah, just a little bit. Not bad though. I think there's also more yellow in here in the fire on the tree there. Good old chariot. Flesh tones here a little bit oranger. Ooh, yeah, it's really obvious that this is a lot redder of a deck with the strength. Look at that. It's crazy. And our hermit. I think these are pretty identical. Trying to get the glare off. Actually, maybe that's a shade more on the indigo side. A little redder here with our Anubis figure, or whoever he is. Oh, wow, that's a big difference with the Justice, isn't it? Look at how much more violet that one is, and this one's way more on the lavender side. So the blue in the background there is a lot more obvious in the Sunburned Magician deck than it is the Blushing Fool deck. So much more red. And I've always found it interesting, like, Justice's face is often a little blushy in every deck, but it looks way blushier in the Blushing Fool deck. Hanged Man. Now he's another one who oftentimes does have more of a Blushing Fool effect as well. So yeah, definitely there was an issue with the red balance. You can even see here, this is a lot more violet, and this one is a little bit bluer in the saddle. Oops. Temperance, come back. This is absolutely one of my favorite cards, Temperance. Apparently it doesn't want to stay on either deck. Yeah, more red values in the feathers. The Devil. Pretty similar. Redder fire, pinker face. Yep. Yeah, oranger bodies in this one. This one definitely looks pinker. This must be... Now this one I thought was really neat. Like, there's definitely some modeling effect going on in that naked baby. You can see that the ink didn't lay down entirely well. And over here, like, you can still see places where, you know, the screen is laying things down heavier. But this one's way more obvious in my opinion. I don't know. And the red values coming off a lot more red than they are orange, for sure. Judgment, again, really similar, slightly more redder. And then the World. This, I did look through the whole deck as I was making sure they were in order, and this is the card that has the most damage, which is unfortunate. Like, all these grease spots. But outside of that, like, the deck's in really good nick. Well, that's the majors. Like, I am pleased as punch that I did end up with what I think is very much a first edition US Games yellow box. And I'm really pleased to see that, yes, there is a US Games Blushing Fool. The Wiser boxes, the Wiser Blushing Fools are definitely out there. I haven't seen firsthand a US Games Blushing Fool. I don't know when they stopped being Blushing Fools. I would assume that all the Blushing Fools would probably be in the first edition. But to be honest, I've not seen anything too much lower than a 6th edition in the Little White Book printing. So that's a whole other like 5 reprints of the Little White Book to go. And it does seem like it's a little bit harder to find ones that are below Little White Book 6. But this guy is apparently a first edition and totally Blushing Fool.